All right. Now we're recording in the Cleanfeed and in the Reaper
And
and at the NSA.
hijack. Do you not use audio hijacking anymore?
I haven't been because I've been trying to capture your audio too, and I was trying to perfect this Reaper deal because, so how that whole thing got started is, I wanted the ability to capture audio, and the intention was I would have myself on a track, you on a track, whoever else may have been a guest on a track in Reaper, and I could drop markers as we were going through the episode, and then it would be easier to, make your chapters, right? Because you pull that in or have edit points or whatever in the thing, right? Well, I've done that a little bit, but then I end up using the clean feed recording that I sent to you, so then it doesn't matter that I did all this stuff in Reaper. But that got to be such a habit that I just opened Reaper.
So I don't know how long this show's going to be because we're recording on a Sunday. My plan is to get it edited, which means subscribers are probably going to get it Monday afternoon, evening time is typically when they get that because I got that day job thing to do during the Monday morning time. But it's going to be pretty slow at work, so I don't know. Expect that you'll receive this whenever you get it. So hopefully you're subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, you should be subscribed. And the bot will tell you when it goes live too.
The bot will tell you. So you should follow the bot.
You should.
The bot handles all.
At the end of the show. First of all, who did we need to say thank you to? Because they listened to the whole show. Callum.
Callum, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if we're allowed to use his name, but we already did. So...
we've used Callum's name before though, because the whole thing started like this is the show because of Callum.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. And plus we got feedback from Callum that we should jump into, and this will be a pretty straightforward. Well, oh man, wait a minute.
What? Is there lots of feedback in the feedback box?
No.
Oh.
I apparently I didn't hit escape on my voice changes, my volume change for VoiceOver, and when I hit Command Tab, it jumped to 100%.
We need to map that out and write that out for Apple because that is not my expected behavior. I do that to myself every time. By the way, quick follow-up from last week's episode. I reset all of my VoiceOver settings. I think I did that on the show, didn't I?
Possibly. I don't know, man.
Possibly. Or I did it while I was editing. I don't remember. I did it while I was editing. We talked about it. You told me not to do it, but I got annoyed, so I finally did it. And I sent Apple my VoiceOver settings and said, hey, here's the issues I'm facing. I frankly don't know if or ever I'll hear back from them more than what they sent me on Friday saying, thank you for sending us these backups of your VoiceOver settings. But I reset VoiceOver settings and my volume is working as it should. So hopefully one of these days we'll be able to track down what caused it. Cause I feel like this isn't the first time that I've ran into that issue.
Yeah, like the not adjusting it as far as I know is the first time, but there's some weirdness going on, period. And from my perspective, because Michael got his MacBook repaired, was it like October? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was October. Might have been late September, but I'm pretty sure it was October. Well, it had to have been early October or very late September.
Yeah. So anyway, Mike did that thing. So he started from scratch with his VoiceOver settings and ended up with some of the same issues that I'm having, which killed my initial idea that it was like, oh, maybe it's an upgrade thing because they changed VoiceOver and some of the settings they used to, because there are actually VoiceOver settings in the VO utility that are not there anymore. There's more settings that are there, but there are settings that are not there in the way that they used to be anymore. Like you can still make set adjustments in a way, but they're not the same way that they used to be 3 or 4 versions of Mac OS ago. So initially I was like, well, maybe you're just bringing Cruft over and this setting doesn't behave in the way that it used to. So that's causing an issue. But since Mike started from scratch, like, I don't know. I just think it's at some point, hopefully we'll track down. I changed this, or when I started customizing that, that's when things got weird. Who knows? But let's get to Callum's feedback that we promised last episode from the episode before that, when there was an episode before that. I don't know how far back this section goes, but I didn't forget about it this time. So I'm going to summarize Callum's email. I'm not going to read the whole thing out. But Callum essentially says he is considering starting a website that's going to be a portfolio type site, but he also probably will want a blog on there. He's blind, so it's going to be a part of the content that he probably posts, but it's not going to be like, hey, check out the blind guy, or, whatever type of type of site. Yeah, he wants to have some portfolio stuff for the podcast that he's on, things that he does in his day job and things like that, as well as a blog. And his first question is the age-old question, at least for me, is how well, can I design the visuals of this to make it look nice? Second thing is, what platform do we use, or how do we build websites? He doesn't have any real grasp of, like the colors and backgrounds and how all that stuff kind of hooks together from a visual sense. And he's just curious, what would we do, or how would we approach this? He is familiar with HTML and WordPress, although he says the block editor is a nightmare.
A nightmare is a quote from him.
Yes, it's a nightmare.
I've not heard of this other tool that he's tried. Have you?
I have not.
Okay.
So I have a couple of ideas.
Me too. So you go first.
Well, I'm going to throw out the first idea, which admittedly, I personally have not looked at this recently. So I'm only going by what I heard. But for a pretty simple, if the backend is as accessible as people have said that it is, Squarespace is an option, or could be an option.
Yeah, possibly.
The reason I say Squarespace, and people who've listened to me on podcasts for a long time know that I have a vehement disdain for Squarespace, mostly because of their lack of accessibility on the back end, and also to kind of, let's not make Mike's job any more difficult. Their poor answers / solutions when I actually ended up in a weird instance where somebody wanted to go from WordPress, and then in the middle of the process, they wanted to go to Squarespace, and I had to essentially give them a refund for most of what they had put down on that project, because I was like, I can't do it. Like, there's no way for me to do it, and support's not helpful. So with that being said, people have mentioned to me over the past couple of years, hanging out in random Discords here and there when that happens, that Squarespace is pretty accessible now on the back end, and you can actually go through and build your site. They do have some AI tools. Again, I have not used this. I do have an intention of looking at it at some point, but they do have some AI tools to help with design. So like, you should be able to natural language-ish kind of, tell it what you want it to look like. There's also the potential. I don't know how well support would help you if you're trying to build a thing. You're like, I don't know exactly how to put this, or how do I get this to line up the way it is? Because what I want it to do, it's not doing, but it's kind of there. If they would be able to go in and like help you adjust that. But from a visual standpoint of somebody building it, like, their sites are pretty clean and accessible on the front end, for sure, once you have built something. And I think for a person that even is not a web designer, if you were to get some sighted assistance, let's say you had somebody from Ira connect and kind of drop in to kind of help you with some visual stuff, for example, the interface, from my understanding and from all the ads that you never can get away from on some podcasts, because they've been supporting podcasts for over 10 years, which I do give them credit for that. It's a pretty straightforward process. You don't have to be a professional web designer or web developer to build a Squarespace site. So that's the first option I would throw out, is something to look at. And you're looking at spending about $12 a month for their lowest tier plan, which is about what it sounds like Callum would need.
Do you have any experience with Google Sites? Because that's where my mind went to, was Google Sites and some of their templates that they have. Because I have a very limited amount of experience, and from what I remember, it was doable from VoiceOver on the Mac, and I don't remember if Callum said what operating system he's using.
He did not.
And that might impact what you do, because honestly, and I say this in the nicest way possible, some web builders act a little funky with VoiceOver on the Mac, but act perfectly fine with NVDA or JAWS on Windows. So from what I remember, though, it was completely doable to build a site on Google Sites. The problem with that is you lose control/flexibility. But I feel like for a portfolio site, that might be a good solution, and it wouldn't be an additional cost aside from the domain that you could route to the Google site.
Yeah, the only, and the reason I sighed like that is because I'm like, I feel like getting your custom domain pointed there is kind of a pain. Kind of a pain. But that could have gotten better. It's been probably, I was still living in Atlanta when I last messed with Google Sites. So I don't have an opinion about them beyond, like, you're right. It was pretty easy to kind of build something fairly simple. They do have some good templates to get you started. I do remember that being a thing, but I also remember getting the domain hooked up as being sort of a pain. It's not that it's undoable. It's just, it's a process. I should also say, from my perspective, I was inside of a Workspace account. I think it was Google's. I think it might have still actually it may have just went to G Suite, or it was right before they went to G Suite. So it could have still been Google Apps when I was doing this. That's how long it's been. I don't know what that looks like on the outside of a paid Workspace account from a just free Gmail or free Google account standpoint.
Right.
I don't know what features are there, but that is also another pathway to take.
Now, longtime listeners are probably wondering, why the hell have they not mentioned WordPress yet? And frankly, because I think WordPress might be a little overkill for this project. But if I were to go down the WordPress avenue, Damashe knows what I'm going to say, generate press all the way. And I would utilize probably Ira, and if Ira is not an option, then Be My Eyes. That way you don't have to bother someone who is looking at your or who has some site that can look at your website and visualize and help you come up with something that looks good. AI makes web development, I think, from someone who's completely blind's perspective, a heck of a lot better. And the reason I say that is you could have a conversation with ChatGPT or Gemini and say, hey, I'm completely blind, don't have a good grasp on what colors look good. Can we talk about some colors that might be good for a portfolio website? I'm using Generate Press, or I'm using 2025 or whatever theme you're using in WordPress and or in Google Sites or Squarespace. And you can ask it, I want it to have a corporate look that isn't too difficult for people with low vision to see. And it will give you some information about different colors that you could set as your background and as your foreground. And I've done this before, but more importantly, because I know enough about WordPress to get myself into a little bit of trouble and then hopefully get out of it. But for me, some of the more advanced stuff or what seems to be more advanced stuff, I struggle with at times. So I'll jump over to ChatGPT and I'll say something, and this is a little bit different than what Callum's looking for, but I think it can help him think about how he puts these together. I can say something like, the client is telling me that the image above the header isn't stretched all the way across the web page, but they'd like it to be stretched all the way across the web page.
However,
how can I do this in
image
Generate
that also is not conducive to being stretched all the way across the web page?
Well, there's
then it's
that
going to look pixelated. I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Go ahead, because I just had to throw that in. Because people are like,
you've been there before.
I want it to be bigger. It's like, yeah, but if I actually stretch that image out, like it's going to look
You're
ridiculous.
not going to like it.
You ain't going to like it. Yeah. You ain't going to like it. You sent me a square image that was this size and you want me to make it this size in a rectangle. It ain't going to work. I'm just telling you.
It ain't going to work that well, and you don't pay me enough to go and do image editing.
Although, at this point, you might be able to, now we've gotten off. Callum, I promise we're coming back. But I just thought about this though. You could take that image in that instance, upload it to GPT or Gemini, and using their image tool, say, listen, I need this image. It's currently this size. It needs to fit this size, which is going to make it rectangular. Can you fill in what should be there to make the image work in a stretched out, form or whatever? Like, that's not the prompt you want to use the way I just said that, but you get the general idea.
And then take the result image and throw it into a different AI just to get a description of it to see what it did.
And then upload it and be like, so is this what you wanted?
But yeah, and the other thing is, like, I have a client that I work with, and she's like, I want the menus to look this way. And it was a simple fix. It was a combo box to fix it that I had to change. But I went to ChatGPT and I said, hey, I'm using GeneratePress Premium, and I need the menus to go from this way to this way. And I know that he's not doing client work, but having those skills in your back pocket to be able to say, okay, the person described to me that the menus are vertical on the right side, and I'd actually like the menus to be horizontal across the image that I just put in there. Then you can use those details. What?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Then you can use those details to go to AI to get some feedback. What are your thoughts there, Damashe? I know you have plenty of thoughts.
I think that layout is awful that you just described. That's absolutely terrible. Those are my thoughts.
The menus straight across the website?
Yeah, I think that's awful.
I can't argue with that,
but hey, it's not my site.
Yep.
So to answer from my side of this, why did I start with Squarespace, a tool I haven't even used in 5 years? Because I was looking for something simple. Now, WordPress, and Callum says he is familiar with WordPress. How do you disable the block editor now? If Callum jumps in, and Callum, I don't know when you last looked at it. It has definitely improved the last time I used it.
Yes. Yes.
By leaps and
6.9
bounds, I
has
would
even
say.
improved.
Like by leaps and bounds, it has improved from when it first came out. What did I just drop out of my pocket? I have no idea.
I don't know, but while you look at that, Callum, if you're a Bits member, shameless plug for Bits. If you're not, you should go join Bits and get the recordings. But John Carson did a great, John Carson, and I believe Jeff did this as well, did a great explanation of navigating the Gutenberg block editor and showing you how to quickly jump with keystrokes between different toolbars within the Gutenberg block editor and how to modify different blocks that you add. And once you add blocks, it can be clunky. And again, we go back to which platform are you on. It can be clunky, but it definitely has gotten better since Gutenberg was first released. I think now the classic editor is probably the best way to get rid of Gutenberg. But I also feel like 6.9, I read somewhere that they were working on creating their own non-Gutenberg editor. Also, if you don't want to rely on another plugin, because it can cause problems if you switch between Gutenberg and classic editor on the same page and you make edits. What I'd actually recommend doing is just add a classic editor block.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's an option to just add a block and just use that block for all your content on a page. But the block editor has gotten better. Like, I've actually built an entire site strictly with nothing but blocks at this point. So first I'm going to start with, I agree with Mike's GeneratePress as a theme, because it is, first off, it's a very lightweight theme. I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here on Callum's part. Which is, because this is not meant to be a site that's going to generate income or do anything like that, you're going to want to find you a fairly inexpensive host. So everything you can do to lighten the resources for your site is going to help. GeneratePress is a very lightweight theme. It is still probably my favorite out of the box. Just grab it from the repo theme that exists out there. And that's a good, not quite 10 years, but feels like almost 10 years in. The GeneratePress has been the suggestion. I would say from a standpoint, there's one plugin. It's also from the same developer of GeneratePress. It's called CSS Anywhere, I think.
Oh. I think I've heard of this one. I don't know about it, though. You probably mentioned it.
I would grab that plugin because oftentimes what you're going to get back from ChatGPT or Gemini or any of the AI LLM solutions is going to be some code. Like, let's say you want your layout to look this way or your color and background to be that way. They're going to give you some CSS. Instead of pasting that into every page, you use that CSS Anywhere plugin and you just go paste that in, and that'll take care of making those changes globally. And you still have an option to customize individual pages, but you're not having to add this code to every single page that you build. So that's one plugin that I would recommend that you definitely install. Using GPT for layout, and I'm going to say GPT just as kind of a generic thing because they're all something transformer, whatever that GPT actually stands for. Generative something transformer. That's actually what GPT stands for. So I'm going to say GPT just generically. Use whatever model that you prefer, whether it be Chat GPT from OpenAI or Gemini from Google, or if you are one of those few people who can really navigate Claude for some reason, use that. Or any other, reasonable model. And at this point, what you're trying to do or what you're trying to mostly use it for is well-known enough web development that you shouldn't really run into any hallucinations. I would say that if you are concerned about things being correct, it is always worth opening up another window, even if it's a free account, to a different LLM and paste in what it gave me. Like, hey, what does this code do? See if it does what the other one told you it did. Make the bots fight. This is the thing, right? It's like, hey, no, that code does blah, blah, blah. And you're like, that doesn't work the way I thought it worked. So then you go back to the first one. But also look through
your comments before you do that. Because if you leave the comments in there, then the other LLM might latch onto those comments and say, well, it says it'll do this.
Well, see, now it's just guessing at that point.
Right.
If it says, well, it says, or it looks like, or it appears that it'll do something like this.
You will do this.
Like, no, tell me what the actual code does and stop playing with me.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the first one, like, so you said that this would do this, but what it actually
Gemini said this. Now you better figure it out.
No, see, you don't ever give it the name of the other one, man, because then that does a whole different thing. You don't want to ramp it up that much. But I honestly think with some inexpensive hosting, and again, I'm going to make some recommendations because I'm making some assumptions for Callum here that maybe I shouldn't make, but I'm going to make them. And this also could apply to somebody else. A lot of people like DreamHost. DreamHost is pretty cheap. If you must. I don't
like their control panel.
You said you don't like it?
I do not like their control panel.
Yeah, but I don't like anybody's control panel.
As of about a year ago, their control panel was a little wonky with JAWS. It's almost like they draw it on the screen, and then you have to disable virtual viewer, left click somewhere on the page, and then tab through or arrow at that point.
Yeah, it's worse than what it used to be. I would definitely say that. I have not looked at it from a Windows aspect, but it's a pain on the Mac. I'll tell you that.
I've used Arvix as shared hosting. Have you heard of them?
I have not heard of them.
Okay, yeah, arvixe.com, I think, is their website. Yeah, yep. I used them. I got a Black Friday deal with them like 12, 13 years ago, and they're still around. So there's that.
Namecheap. If you don't have a domain, you're going to have to register a domain. So their hosting is reasonable. And I'm putting these options out, and for people who listened long enough to me running my mouth on microphones, I don't personally hate these solutions. They just don't work for me because I'm more of a command line person. A lot of these solutions don't let you hack at the command line the way I want to. So that's why I don't personally use Namecheap myself, but I have tried out their hosting and it's decent. What'd you say, Mike?
RackNerd has shared hosting as well.
Okay. I saw that they had shared hosting, but I wasn't sure if it had, because I'm also looking at some of these options because they have one-click installers for WordPress. It's also worth pointing out, for about $5 a month, because I think they're still $5 a month. DigitalOcean is out there with a one-click installer for WordPress. Linode, which is now owned by Akamai, which, $5 a month for a droplet, you're still good. There's a one-click installer there because they finally got on board with the one-click installer things. But yeah, there are some options there. You can always, Callum, you can always follow up, or anybody else that has questions. You can send your emails to feedback@technicallyworking.show, and we can kind of help drill down as much as we can to find a solution that's going to work best for you. We're just throwing out some options that work. What I would personally do is not what I think Callum wants to do, which is I would just go build a server from scratch and do a whole bunch of stuff. But I don't think you want to do all that, man.
He might for a tinkering project, though,
I mean, if he does get in touch, and I'll tell you how I would do it. There's plenty of tutorials on building it. I actually still use SpinUp WP as a control panel to build servers because I now know how to do it. So now I'm okay with having a tool that automates it. And hey, I didn't have to build the tool to automate the process. So that's a nice deal. I think that's probably definitely overkill for what Callum is looking at. But yeah, if you want to build a server from scratch, there are some really good tutorials online, and it's essentially go to DigitalOcean or Linode or I really, really would like to recommend that people try out Vultr, but their interface is so horrible.
It certainly is.
It is horrible. So there are some options. If you're really interested in building your own server, and again, it's just, install Ubuntu, the latest version of Ubuntu. You're going to, run some commands, and I can link you to a really good tutorial that takes you through step by step building your server. And I have followed it in the past, to really get familiar with Nginx. But if you're interested in your own server and hosting it that way, Rack Nerd also has their Black Friday deals are still up. Don't tell them they're still up because maybe they forgot. But they're still up. So you can get a pretty decent server that's about, I would say, comparable to what you pay $5 a month for to DigitalOcean or Linode for like $10 a year. Yeah. So I take it. Matter of fact, I may go buy one right now. No, I'm not going to go buy one right now. But, I kind of feel like I should because it's like, hey, it's still there.
Right. And I'm going to be doing some Raspberry Pi projects, so Rack Nerd server might fall into my future as well. So I might have to go buy one just to have something laying around,
Like kind of at this point, because it's still there. Like I went and picked up a second one because I was like, hey, I'm going to move my Cloud Run instance over to that same server too, like to a similar server over there too. Because at this point, what it costs me, I mean, it's the money up front right now, but that's a year. For what I pay for right now to run websites on, let's see, Linode gets about $43 a month from me, and DigitalOcean I think is getting 12
a month. So that's 55 a month.
So spending 62 something. Actually, I think I spent 75 because I bumped the processor's cores up to 8 or something. So anyway. That's a year, and that's for life as long as I pay for it. Mm-hmm. So, listen, I just saved myself a whole bunch of money for 2026, and the bottom line. Now you just gotta
start moving stuff over.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Just gotta move stuff. Just gotta move. Which Cloud Run will be easy. Like, it's just go do a couple of things and restore it back up, and then boom, it's up and running. So the hardest part of that is just pointing the domains to the new IP address for that. The spin up sites are going to be a little bit more time consuming, but not as much because I don't have actually as many sites to move as are actually currently live in spin up WP at the moment. So
it's a good opportunity to clean stuff up.
Yep, it is a good opportunity to clean stuff up and put sites back online that should have been online like 18 months ago. But Callum don't want to hear about that though.
Start building sites.
Yeah, that whole thing, I actually want to put that site on a mirror, but I got some AWS stuff to go fix. Because I don't have email on AWS right now, which is tough.
But if this helps Callum, let us know. if you have more questions, reach out because I think it's a good place to get started. I will warn you, and you may already know this because you have experience with websites, but building websites can become very big rabbit holes. That's another thing I want to mention, actually. And Damashe may have a solution for this. I am...
How to stay out of the rabbit holes? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. Deep rabbit holes.
I don't have an answer for that question. Don't go down them in the first place.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
That's the only advice I got for you.
Just say no. So I am very fond of the local platform. Delicious Brains makes that, right?
They do.
I think they purchased
they
it
bought
or
it from
contribute
whoever.
to it.
Yeah, they bought it and then, so... Yeah, Delicious Brains now owns the platform, which means that WP Engine owns it because that's who owns Delicious Brains.
Yeah.
Shout out to Matt WordPress.
But it's a good tool for developing or just tinkering around because it's so easy to put plugins in. You just go put them in the folder on your computer and then there you go activate them. Or if you mess stuff up, then you can destroy that site and rebuild a new one. And I think that's what I find the most value in a tool like Local for. And there are several other ones out there, but for me, that's the one that I develop. I don't want to use the D word. That's the one that I play with WordPress locally on.
I mean, you're developing skills, man, and knowledge.
Yeah.
There's development happening there. And that's another example of why I kind of started with Squarespace with this whole thing too, is because tools change. When I looked at Local years ago, it was when they were still owned by Flywheel, before Delicious Brain bought them. It was not accessible at all. Now I know for a couple of years that has been different, but I just have not gone back to it because, I'm old. Leave me alone and get off my lawn. Give me a command line, man. I just make stuff work. But I probably will. Now, I've asked you this question before, but keep in mind my previous statement. So I'm going to ask you this question again. You're using Local on Windows, Mac OS, both? Oh, okay.
Both.
So it is accessible on Mac OS too. All right. Yep. I may have to give this a look because sometimes when I want to test something, the whole process of going through Terminal and creating a new database for this site just for me to try a thing is a little overkill.
Yeah. And you can use WP-CLI. That is a tool I want to learn more because you use WP-CLI all the time, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So I want to learn that more because you can use that with local sites as well.
Yep, I do absolutely use WP-CLI. I am happy that they have continued to update it and actively work on it. That's actually how I first encountered Magic Links. Come to think of, there is a package for WP Clee and associated plugin that you would install on your site. And from the command line, you could type, WP login and a username, and it would generate a link that would automatically go to your clipboard, or you could have it email it to you, or have it email it to. I think I did this to you one time. We were working on another site, and I sent you a link to click on to log into the staging site.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's actually how I first encountered Magic Links, and I started working on the process of building that out so it would actually work from the graphical interface. And I think I got sidetracked on something. Actually, I was trying to make it slicker. I just wanted a URL that would always be live, but you had to know to type in, Damashe.org/ some random gibberish, or some, let me into my own site, please, right now. And then it would just log me in. Cause I hadn't thought, because at the time I still don't like Magic Links. They're cool and they're more secure, I think, than doing passwords for a lot of people, but I don't like them because I have to leave the page, go to my email and click on a link. And now I got 2 windows open for your stupid site so I can log in.
Yep.
It makes me angry.
Yep. I do like Auth0 for authentication. I have not configured it myself, but I use a site that uses Auth0, and the reason I like them is they have passkey support. So
that's all I want.
Anywhere that has passkey.
And Auth0, at least they used to. I don't know if they still do. When the first and probably I think the only time I actually deployed them for someone, they had a pretty generous free plan.
They still do.
So yeah, Alt 0 is an option.
That's more advanced though. Just warning you.
Yeah, don't talk to Okta though. Like that's how I actually got the Alt 0.
No.
I got on the phone with Okta and I was like, all right, man, well listen, I appreciate you calling me back, but you have a nice day, okay?
It's a bit.
Do you think
more
we may
than
have
what
a
I
note?
was
We're
expecting.
not ever gonna have a follow-up call, dude. I can guarantee you. Like I'm not even working in that space, dude. I don't even have any intentions of getting to that level of working with somebody that big that needs to pay you what you're charging to make it worth their time. Like I would be negligent as a consultant to recommend that to anybody that's even in my target audience pay for this. For context for people, Okta's at the time at least was $1,500 a month minimum. And it gave you X number of users, which was way overkill for what anybody I even planned to work with would need. So it's like you would be paying for a bunch of licenses that you're not going to use. And there was no lower tier. There was no per seat pricing. It's flat $1,500 to get you going. I was like, nope.
So I feel like, you know, that time when you learn how to do something on a platform and you're like, this has been bothering me for years. And you're like, it's really just that keystroke and that solves the problem. I closed a couple of tabs on my Mac and I got to this state where the only window open was a window that had the title of start page running one window, right? And I'm like, no, that can't be because I have Cleanfeed open and I'm still talking to Damashe. If I press Command W, it'll tell me that I have 2 tabs open in this window and am I sure I want to close it? And on a whim, I just did Command Shift right bracket and then now I'm in the tab with you. And I don't know why I never tried to do that before in the past because
The Command Shift right bracket?
yeah, like to switch to the, like, so the problem is I have a second tab open in this window. So when I closed all of my, because I opened another window to do something, and when I closed all of my windows, my focus was put on the second tab, which is nothing right now. What?
I didn't know that worked. I always use Control tab.
Oh, that works too. Huh.
But the right bracket,
Left bracket,
left bracket
Command
takes you
Shift
to the
left.
preview. Command Shift left takes you to the. Now that's one thing with Control. Well, hold on. I think Control Shift tab does the same thing though.
It does.
Yes, that's what I've always used.
Okay. And that way you can do it with one hand too.
Yeah, you can.
So your right hand's on the numpad and your left hand does the control tab. Anyways, I don't know why I never thought about that, but I've gotten into that situation. I've closed windows with tabs open that I didn't know how to get to them. And
So yeah, Control. I should have said something, man. I told you like Control tab that
man,
works.
this has been bothering me for years. It's
Man,
one of those things you just deal with it and you don't think about saying anything.
Yeah. Also. Oh crap! I just closed the whole window. I didn't mean to do that. Hold on. Undo. Command Shift T. There we go.
Command
All right.
grave accent will switch you between windows.
No, so there's 2 different shortcuts, and well, you have the same thing on Windows. Except Windows Control F4, I think, will close the tab that you have open, and don't look, I might be getting it wrong. But anyway, Command W in Windows on Mac OS will close a tab.
Okay.
Command Shift W will close the whole window. So if you have 17 tabs open in that one window and you hit Command Shift W, it closes the entire window. So all 17 tabs go away.
Yep.
Command Shift T will bring it back if you don't do anything else, which I
Yes.
just did, which just saved me because I need to finish this Costco order. Something I could have just logged back
Command
in.
T will open a new tab within the same window, but Command N will open a new window where you can set up your tabs if you want. For example, if I go to google.com in one tab and then I go to payown.media.
There's a setting somewhere because I need to go and fix it because right now Command N opens up a new tab in the same window for me also.
Oh,
But there's a preference somewhere that I checked the box because I was like, I wonder what that does. And I have found out what it does, which is annoying because I hate all these tabs.
now I wondered for the longest time, and you may have this answer, but listeners may not know, why would I want different windows when I can have different tabs? And the advantage to this is now I have 2 windows open. I have one open with Google and with payown.media opened. If I hit Command Grave Accent, then I'm put back in Cleanfeed, which is where Damashe and I are recording. But if I hit Command Grave Accent again, it puts me in that window with 2 tabs. And then if I know Payown Media is the second tab open, at this point I can just hit Command 2, and that puts me in the Payown window tab. So you can customize the order or the tabs that you have open. There is a keystroke somewhere, and I forget what it is, to reorganize your tabs if you accidentally get like Payown Media as number 3 and you want it to be number 2.
So, I don't know about there being a shortcut for said a thing.
I'll go ask ChatGPT real quick. What do you think of 5.2? Have you noticed anything?
I've used it a little bit. I was actually doing some research earlier today on healthier options for energy boosters. So looking at different energy drinks and then also some energy bars. Some people don't drink energy drinks. Some people don't drink them because there's too much sugar. Some of them are very high in caffeine content. But also, I never knew this because I'm not an energy drink user, that some energy drinks are tailored for specific things. So like one that is relatively new to me, I would say, not that it's new, it's just new to me. C4. C4s are geared more for people about to go do a workout. It's not just like, hey, I need a boost to get me through the rest of the day. It's probably not what you should drink for that. Mallory is actually a person who mentioned this to me or through you to me to like, oh, well, that's more for this and that's more for that. And I was like, it feels like I need to start educating myself on what these energy drinks are actually for now, which was a whole nother rabbit hole. Speaking of rabbit holes, what I have noticed is this is the first time I've seen this. So I'm assuming it's new with 5.2. So I had to do some deep research on some comparisons, give me the health, give me the ingredients, for these different, energy drinks. Also highlight any other options that are out there that I did not mention that are more geared towards natural, flavoring, low in sugar, et cetera, that are more on the healthier side to give you that kind of energy boost. Once it started to research, it was like, you can continue the conversation with me to talk about something else while I work on this research in the background. I was like, really? Let's see how that works. Okay. I'm looking for this kind of thing, yada, yada, yada. And we had a whole conversation. Then it was done. There was my report on the energy drinks. Okay.
I've seen that, but I've never tried it.
Yeah, I figured, well, hey, what's the worst that could happen is that it breaks, and then I just have to start the research over again. But no, that actually worked. But that was the first time I had seen that. Now, granted, for the past couple of weeks, I've been strictly in Gemini. What made me open ChatGPT today is I was not in Safari, and I wasn't signed into Google in the browser that I was in. So I didn't want to go through that whole hassle because Google has enough browser windows access. They don't need to be in that browser too. Which that browser is Helium. I'm still using Helium. Like I occasionally have to go back to Chrome. But it's generally because a website is doing some weird stuff with tracking or something like that or some type of thing. And Helium just won't open it. Like a lot of times I'll click a link in an email and I'll want to open it in Helium and like it will not resolve these, the tracking links that are in a lot of emails. Now, uBlock Origin is running in this browser, which is a ad blocker / script blocking tool that's been around for a long time. So it'll oftentimes not render those, like not redirect to where it's supposed to go. And you can click a button and sometimes you're like, yep, visit this site or open the domain, but then it just, at that point you've broken the chain, so it doesn't work. So then I have to go to Google Chrome for that. There's probably a way to resolve that a little bit, but hey, sometimes it brings to my attention like, you're dirty, you're trying to track me to click your link. Like, geez, I'm paying you. Like, it's just a newsletter. And then occasionally I'll go to a site and like, I'm guessing because some script of some sort is being blocked. It a lot of times it'll get stuck on, like where I've seen it get stuck a lot of times is with the Cloudflare verify you're a human page. Like that just won't work. So then, if it's something I have to get to, and I was like, oh, God, I'll go. And it behaves better in a Chromium browser than in Safari, then I have to go open Google Chrome. So Google Chrome is not off the computer, but it very rarely gets opened. And I, for anybody, I still think it is worth, whether you choose to sign in or not, it's worth keeping Google Chrome on your computer unless you just really are all in on Edge for some strange reason.
Do you have Firefox on your Mac at all?
I do.
Okay.
Firefox, I have found, is the best way to look at XCP on Mac OS.
Oh, okay. I think that was the case on Windows, if I recall right, too, wasn't it?
That I don't know. I hadn't.
Yeah.
I found it worked in Firefox. Once Firefox stopped flip-flopping on me, they update, and it's accessible. And then they update again, like now it's broken. And they update, it's accessible. Like once they stop that little TikTok thing going on, like, yeah, Firefox is the best way to view. Matter of fact, whenever I open Firefox, XCP is there. Like I have to clear out the end of the URL and log back in, but it's always open because that's primarily at this point what I use it for. I use it for some other stuff. Sometimes I'm in there and I'm just in there, but I also haven't. I'll give it to you this way. The default search engine right now in Firefox is still Google. So that gives you an idea of how much I actually use it.
Yep.
Like it's not even DuckDuckGo, let alone being Kagi. It's Google. Because I did a search the other day when I was on the AT guys call in Firefox because I was looking at something in the warehouse and like it came back with a Google search. I was like, what the hell is this?
Which, by the way, longtime listeners, Damashe is still using Kagi, I think.
Yep, still using Kagi. I pay for Kagi.
I have not checked it out yet.
I think one of these. I think you actually have to pay for Kagi. I'm gonna send you a Kagi credit so you can use it for a couple of months without it actually costing you any money. Yeah, I saw it the other day when I was trying to figure out how to set up the family account.
Okay. Do they have family accounts too?
They do.
Sweet.
Because I'm going to. It's that time that I need to start allowing the kids more freedom of access in web browsers, because right now I think they still can't access Safari directly. And I figure, the cool thing about Kagi and the reason I'm setting it up, one, because I do actually like it. Like I haven't thought about going back to another search engine. And much like DuckDuckGo was, like you can say, I want you to search Google specifically or do, bring me back Google results specifically, and it'll do that thing and launch you into Google search results or what. So you still have like the bangs. It still has the bangs that DuckDuckGo was so well known for. But I like the customization there that I haven't spent a whole lot of time customizing, but I've looked at some of my options. But with the family deal, if you set up a kid's account, there are parental filters. There's a community of parents, where they've shared their filters that work for them. So I'll be looking at stuff like that. And that way I can put my kids in Safari and kind of give them a little bit more free reign, because I can more control what they're gonna. Between some Pi-hole blocking and some customized search parameters of where you're able to search to begin with, it'll keep them away from some of the nastier crap on the internet until they're old enough to deal with that, if they're ever old enough. Because I tell you, sometimes I don't think I'm old enough. Some of the stuff you find out here. So, but Link is really getting into researching. Like he's borrowing his mom's phone a lot to go search for something in YouTube so he can see how to do a thing. And I'm like, okay, we gotta, you have gotten here by yourself. I didn't even have to show you how to do this thing. So yeah, let's open it up. Which means I'm also gonna pay for the. I'm also going to pay for the YouTube Premium, so I can do the family thing. So, it annoys me.
YouTube ads are so annoying.
Man, I was about to say, it annoyed me so much the other day. I was like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, so really, in order for me to use YouTube, I need to pay for Premium. And like, it ain't fair for me to pay for Premium and make my kids watch that. Man, listen, the video I wanted to go look at the other day was like 2 minutes and 13 seconds or something. There's 2 ads in front of this video that I swear added up to about a minute.
Yep. I was watching a unboxing of a new piece of hardware that we got, and the guy's great. Like, he does a good job at explaining everything. But I swear, every 5 minutes there was a 2 to 5 minute ad that I had to wait for 30 seconds to be able to skip, and sometimes it didn't show you the skip button, and it's bad.
It's really bad. It is really bad.
But YouTube is where I go to learn stuff, though.
And
I don't know.
It's a good place for that. You can find, like you're talking about unboxing a product. Like there's been, times I figured out how to use a thing, just by going to YouTube. So it's not just, for me, it's not an entertainment deal more so than, you go back to, what is it? Not low end talk. What was it, guys? Crosstalk Solutions. I learned a ton about configuring networks and stuff with Ubiquity and so many capabilities there from watching this guy's channel. But you got a 20-minute video and there's 17 ads or something. You got to do, I can't take it. I just can't take it. And now, I can somewhat justify it more because I know my kid will, probably both of them, because Mia's been on YouTube for a while. I'm like, I don't really have a way to give you YouTube without giving him YouTube. And also, I don't feel like dealing with it right now, because there's some horrible crap on YouTube too. I actually hadn't ever ended up down these rabbit holes, but there's definitely some bad information on YouTube. I was watching a video the other day about the security of cell phones, like everybody's tracking your cell phone, right? Which is all stuff that me and listeners that have been around long enough will know. And if you ain't been around long enough to hear about it, you will. So just hang on. We ain't talking about today though, because we got to make this a shorter show for Mike's editing since we're recording on Sunday. I almost said Monday. To be really
don't confuse me too much.
But some of the stuff that this guy was spouting I was like, dude, no, right? But it's also in service of trying to sell you this super private, secure cell phone that he was also pushing, or that he had been reviewing. It's
probably just running Android.
Yeah, it's running Android. There's no other operating system for a mobile phone besides Android. It doesn't have to be Google's Android. It could just be OASP. But some of the stuff he was saying is like that. That's not true. Like, that's just flat out not true. So anyway, that being said, Kagi, still great. I think people should check it out. There's a free time, I think you get 100 searches for free, and they're not stingy in the way that they count your searches, I guess is the best way I can put it. I actually did a thing with Kagi today that I hadn't done before. I was asking a question about something. I don't remember what it was. And there is a little section for quick answer, right? And that's when they'll, link out to or hook out to LLM. I think they have their own kind of internal model, and then they'll use some of the more advanced models that are out there, depending on what you are paying for, as well as, I guess, what they kind of do. So it's sort of like what Perplexity does in a way, with their shepherding is the word that I want to say, but it's not the word. Their orchestration of like, oh, you gave us this query. We know that Claude is the best one to use for this kind of answer. So we're going to send this information to Claude, right? And then come back with your answer. Like, they're doing that sort of orchestration within their system. So anyway, quick answer, I hit the thing and it said this. So I hit more, and then I actually started to have a chat inside of my search window of like, well, what are some better options for blah, 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 whatever the hell my query was, because that was 4 hours ago. I don't remember what I was searching for. But I ended up having a conversation within the chat inside of the search window, which I felt like was pretty cool. First time I ever did it. And I was like, oh, I've looked at quick answers before, but it's the first time I've actually was like, I need to actually ask some follow-up questions about that. But if you are annoyed with search, if you're happy with your search engine, like, go ahead, do you? I have not been happy with Google for a while. Every time I see a Google search page, it makes me angry, and it makes me a little sad, honestly. Just remembering how good Google used to be. I don't know. I see a Google search result page now, and I really shouldn't say what I'm about to say, but I got to say it because it sounds funny to me. I see a Google search page nowadays, and it's kind of like when you see that old chick that you dated from high school, and you're like, what did you do to yourself? Like, what happened? Like, how did you let it come to this?
Makes you rethink life choices, eh?
No, it doesn't make me rethink life choices. It makes me question their life choices. Like, my life choices are fine.
I can see what you're saying now. Okay.
I was like, no, my life choices are fine, but what did you do to yourself? Like, what kind of choices have you made in your life that got you here?
All right. So I will look forward. We'll play with Coggy. I don't have much more. I mean, I have other stuff, but it's going to be longer topics.
Yeah, we'll pick it up next week. I think I do want to throw
Merry Christmas.
I want to throw an idea out there for you to think about. I'm thinking about this for two reasons. Whenever we have to move, we don't have that much flexibility between, if we can't do it Saturday, then we got to do it Sunday. Saturday for both of us at times ends up being like an event day or family day or thing like that.
Yep.
So maybe picking a weekday night to become our permanent recording night, which gives either of us, generally you, but either of us more time in between when the recording was done and when it needs to be published. I haven't come up with a specific day. I don't really have a specific day in mind, but just something for us to think about doing as we work on trying to improve the show, but also, that's a part of it is just scheduling, right? Because now you have a lot tighter time frame to edit and publish.
I think that's something we can throw around because I have some ideas and it's been in the back of my mind to come up with a weekday. Because then if we have to push to the weekend, then it's not it's the exception,
it's not the crunch.
What we have to do.
Yeah. So, if we got it earlier in the week, then we got more flexibility if we need to move it versus it's Saturday.
We could push publish date to Tuesday too, which is what DM series was.
No, we'll keep it on Monday.
We gotta have a little bit of something different, right?
We've been on Mondays. I don't want to change that. At this point, I'd rather not change the publish date because that is the one. Well, it's not the one thing, but that is the main thing that we started out with. A goal of was consistency.
Yep. It might be late that Monday that you get your show, but
you still get it on Monday. Yeah, and it honestly kind of upsets me when shows decide they're going to move to publishing on Thursday instead of Wednesday. Like, it's slightly annoying. I'm just saying. I don't appreciate it.
Throws your whole day off, doesn't it?
Man, it screws up my week. I'm like, hey, wait, what happened? Oh, that's right. They publish on Thursday. Yeah. Like, I'm still looking for that show on Wednesday. I'm just saying. So, yeah, we'll pick a different recording day because we're more flexible. We want to keep things as same as possible for the listeners outside of us just improving the show content. Which you can tell us what you think about it and what you think we should improve, what you think we should change. I promise I hear you. Yep, you're absolutely right. I completely forgot about that piece of feedback that was in the tip jar. I will get to that next week. We'll read it because it could have been delivered slightly better, but there was some legitimate criticism there if you care about it. So we'll read that.
And I think we've taken that feedback a little bit to heed too, unconsciously, I think.
I don't think so. Not really.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
No. Because we've done this, we'll get to the feedback next week.
Yeah,
we'll talk about what we did.
You'll have to tune in next week.
Yeah, you will have to tune in next week, as you should. But you can send us email to let us know what you think about the show or what you think we should cover, or just, ask us a question like Callum did and we'll get into it. And Callum, I look forward to a response from you in case you need more info, or even if you come up with an idea and you're like, hey, I'm going to do this. And, let us know how it goes, man. You can email us feedback@technicallyworking.show. Nope, stop. Nope, there's no .com. I'm telling you, man, I do not own show.com. I have not been sitting on that for 25 years. I wish I did because I could probably sell it to somebody.
Yep.
No, feedback@technicallyworking.show. We're both on Mastodon. He is Payon, Payown, @dragonscave.space. My Mastodon is Damashe, Damashe @technically.social. Mike gave somebody the wrong.
I sure did.
And you can follow the bot. You really should follow the bot. The bot is a good follow because oftentimes there are things that we mention that I forget, and then the bot will post it because it's like, they talked about this thing, and I'm going to give you guys a link because they ain't put it in the show notes. Don't even look for it there because TW @technically.social is how you can follow that bot though. And of course we got the hashtag technically working. We appreciate if you capitalize the T and the W. On a follow-up note on the way out of here, though, I just heard that Threads is backburnering their plans to more deeply integrate with the Fediverse. I wanted to say metaverse, and I knew that wasn't right, and I was trying to remember the right word because I'm like, that ain't it. That's not the thing.
Yeah.
The Fediverse, which makes me sad because I actually I was hoping we would arrive at this point, and we may still get there. Blue Sky is also including this because they have their own protocol, but I still hope at some point that there will be a bridge that would allow people on Threads or Blue Sky or, Matrix or whatever to use that hashtag technically working, and we will see it on Mastodon, and our replies with the same hashtag, they will see it on the platform that they're on. This is my dream for the open social media web. We'll see if we get there.
There we go.
I couldn't remember the episode number, so I didn't put
142, but we got it.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all of that. Happy holidays. Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Happy it.
TW142.